This is Reign of Nether, an ambitious mod that turns regular Minecraft from a normal survival game to a real-time strategy game like Age of Empires or StarCraft, featuring 3 whole different factions, each with their own units, buildings and mechanics, an isometric camera, and the most important feature of them all, rotate. And of course the ability to be swarmed by your enemy in the first 5 minutes.
So you good with the clicking? Motherfucker! I see what you're doing!
And no, this isn't some Minecraft Legends clone either, as this mod is played by more than 3 people actually. So today I thought I'd invite the developer for an interview and to talk a little about their experience developing their very first mod over the last 3 years.
My name is So Legendary. As you've heard, I'm Australian. I am a software engineer by trade, and on the side I like to write Minecraft mods.
So grab your favorite snack, get comfortable, and hit that little subscribe button, and let's dive straight into Reign of Nether. I thought it would be a good idea to first go over the installation of this mod, as it's not as simple as others. Using the Modern launcher, you just first download the mod like any other through their website or the launcher itself. It is running on Forge 1.19.2, so don't forget to change that version. Once installed, when you try to generate a world, you might notice that it doesn't quite seem right. The camera works, sure, you can build buildings, but since the worker units can't pathfind their way into a cave, you actually can't mine any ore. Therefore, you should install this data pack also on that mod page and drag it into your data packs folder and install it. Done. Then add E4MC or world host to that pack and you can just play against your friends, no hassle. Definitely not the easiest mod to get working, but they plan to change this in a future update to just a world generation option. But now we got it installed. How does it play? Starting the game, you pick one of 3 factions, the villagers, the mobs and the piglins, each having their own units that are similar though very different from each other. For instance, the villagers get access to the pillagers, simple archers that you can station in these towers, witchers who can heal your own units or harm others, and of course the iconic iron golem. Strong centurions standing guard over whatever area you demand them to. The monster faction has access to more overwhelming force strategies, as they can just churn out husks and zombies very easily, and they also have access to the most scary mob of them all, creepers, which can be weaponized to great effect. But the absolute top dog unit has to be the Ghast, a powerful flying unit not targetable by any ground troops and has surprised me on multiple times. Some of these units can be upgraded further, for instance for more damage, defense or other goodies, like your workers being able to build iron golems instead of the dedicated workshop building, and each faction also has dedicated workers. These can be selected to do your standard RTS things. Chop wood, mine ore/iron, and of course build buildings. With the building textures, functions, and style also changing depending on the faction you're playing, combined with the animations on those buildings that are simple but absolutely amazing. At the same time, this mod blew me away from the very first time I saw it. The other cool thing is that the more workers you actually put on a building, it gets built faster.
It's kind of funny actually, everyone praises the build animations, but I wouldn't really even consider it an animation. It's just the blocks being placed one by one in a particular pattern, right? Once again, a lot of math just to decide what gets built first in a particular order, and then math to determine the speed as well. It's actually the math for how fast a building gets built with more workers assigned is taken straight from Age of Empires.
It's not the only thing that this mod is taken from Age of Empires or others. As you might have noticed, the camera for this mod is a little off. It is what is called an isometric perspective. It has a rotating feature as well, and a scroll to edge. Impressive stuff, if not little bit sourced from another mod.
The camera work alone seems very complex to pull off. Like, how did you manage to do that?
So I did definitely borrow some code. I mean, we're all an open source community here, so I'll just say the immersive portals mod had a hidden feature which gave you an isometric camera, and I basically just looked at that, copied the math from it, which there was a lot of complex math, and applied it to my camera, and I was like, boom, isometric camera. And at the time, I wasn't planning to make an RTS game, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, I have to.
Once again, the open source nature of Minecraft mods has inspired a whole other project to kick off. Still confused though why immersive portals has need of an isometric camera, but I digress. Playing against your friends, I do recommend that you get one of these pre-made maps made by the wonderful Reign of Nether community, as getting a flat enough world in order to play in is kind of tricky sometimes. All the footage you see here is either recorded on River VO2 by Devoiden, which will be linked down below, or one of the generated seeds that we found on the Discord. Other than that, the mod does have some weird issues with bridge placement in extended play sessions, and you do have to babysit the units you're trying to send off, as pathfinding in this mod is just a vanilla one and isn't that good, so you are warned. Other than that, gameplay never really felt tedious or annoying. If you are planning to play this with E4MC or others, do note that as of the recording of this video, rejoining a game hosted by these mods might result in some weird behaviors when you're trying to retake control of your faction, which we didn't experience on a dedicated server, funnily enough. Hosted on GG servers, of course, code Pebble for 25% off, hehe. But let's turn back to the development of Reign of Nether. Reign of Nether took almost 3 years to develop, and of course, it didn't go all just smoothly with no hassle. Legendary had to deal with all sorts of things, from learning how to actually do these things, to simple burnout, but many might be wondering, why is a new mod coming out from 1.19.2? And not only that, why is it on Forge?
Why did you choose 1.19.2 as the version you were going to develop for?
Well, I started coding this project 3 years ago, like probably almost to the day, actually. It was like the start of November. It started off at 1.16, I believe, and then, crept up in versions as new versions increased. At some point, I was like, I'm done updating, because every time a new Minecraft version comes out, I spend like a whole month just trying to get the whole base compatible. Obviously, it was Forge versus Fabric. I think at the time, I just liked the community I found on the Discord and on the forums, and I already had a lot of help with them. Probably also, I just saw a lot of YouTube guides for it.
To the many commenters on many of my videos that have said Forge is dead, while the future of Forge is still uncertain, the sheer amount of third-party tutorials and documentation surrounding Forge will ensure that there still be mods made for it to this day. Honestly, I don't need this mod on 1.21, as it has enough mobs, creatures. That way, Legendary can also just focus on refining what is already there and balancing the factions, instead of having to figure out what hidden value Mojang changed this time around. But how do you get random mobs and villagers to take your command anyways?
How did you get these units to take commands? How did you get workers to chop wood, or like the pillager to attack people? Like how did you do that?
First, you got the camera. Second, you got the mouse, the cursor. Once that's out of the way, second step, you grab a copy of the vanilla mob that you're representing. So in this case, say, for example, a villager. Make it its own thing, and you overwrite all of the code that goes underneath. Erase their AI that tells them to do random stuff around a village. Basically prioritize the player's actions over anything else. So if you ask it to move, it will move. In Java, you call it extending a class.
To be honest, these all seem very simple things, and they don't seem too complex if you go down to the bare minimum. Lobotomize the mobs, give them other stuff, re-implement the camera, because no, copying the math from another mod doesn't mean there's no effort into actually getting it running, and get some simple animations, combine it all to make a more advanced version of Minecraft Legends, and done. But oftentimes, simple things aren't actually as simple as getting all these features to work, combined with the data pack that apparently was a headache to get working from the start, makes this the simplest yet complex mod I have ever thought about covering. And don't take it from me.
The number one piece of advice I would give to new mod makers: do not do what I did. Start small, make little features first, right? That is absolutely the number one thing I would have done if I had to redo this. There's so many features I could have just released as zone mod, like gotten feedback, fixed bugs, got testing done, things like the mini map, for example, a portal that spreads nether blocks, even just the camera by itself. Or all of these things, you can release them separately, get your own little comments and bug reports from the community, fix it all together, and then in the end just combine it into the one. I would just like to say to everybody who has joined the community for this game, thank you. Over the last couple of weeks since release, it's been a huge amount of support and love, and I could not have gotten not have gotten so much features and fixes done since release without you guys. Thank you.
And that is some rather good advice to end things on. So a complex mod that combines the look and feel of Minecraft with something along the lines of an actual RTS game, with a talented and passionate developer behind it once again. And while there are some bugs, and the installation isn't exactly flawless, this mod is still a labor of love, and it shows. Between the time of interviewing Legendary and the time it took me to record this voice line, there have been 4 minor patches, including a new Skull Catalyst building that turns day into night so monsters don't take damage. Truly, this mod is worth checking out, and as a matter of fact, I'm probably hosting a tournament in the next few weeks on Reign of Nether, so join the Discord and let's decide once and for all who is the top dog in Reign of Nether. But with that all being said, I was Lunar, you were very awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.
Maybe the last question, the most important question. Do you think you can beat me in a 1v1?
Ironically, I'm actually not very good at RTS games. You might think I'm some sweaty ladder nerd who's like Diamond League on StarCraft, but I just love RTS games casually. Like, I love the campaigns, I love the single player modes, and that's why I'm planning to put in a single player mode. And so whether I could beat you in a 1v1, as long as you have some experience, you might have a chance.
I don't. I think the most RTS I've played is Dawn of War.
Yeah, then you'll probably be destroyed.
Alright, once again, this video has been made possible by my lovely patrons. You all make this stuff possible, and yeah, you might have noticed 3 videos in a very short period of time. Normally this should have gone on Friday. I hope I can get it out on Friday. If not, this whole section is a little bit pointless, isn't it? But yeah, it's all thanks to your amazing support. You have pushed me through a creative slump, and we are full steam ahead for new videos. Next video is not going to be on a Wednesday or something. It's the regular Friday like this. It's a Friday at 10 p.m. upload. And yeah, if you want to know what it is, join the Patreon. If you want to have the full access to the interview with me and Legendary, join the Patreon. And I will see you next time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.